look briefly at Chapter 5 in the verbal dimension of communication. When we talk about the verbal dimension of communication, we have to start with the basis of communication, the symbols that we use to represent the words and ideas that we have. These symbols are arbitrary. We have assigned them as we've needed them. They're random. They are ambiguous, and they vary from person to person and culture. And so they're not set in stone. They're not absolute. They're abstract. They are not the things themselves. They are mere representations for us to use in our communication. Your book proceeds to talk about communication rules and how to learn what's appropriate in different speaking situations, and it goes over regulative rules and constitutive rules. And when you went to kindergarten, your teacher showed you some appropriate communication rules about raising your hand when you would like to speak and how to take your turn. And as you continue to grow, you find those rules may change, but if you learn those rules, then you can be an effective communicator. Then your book talks about punctuation and how do you know when it's time to end the communication episode. And it talks about using dual perspective and putting yourself in someone else's shoes to be effective in that communication scenario. And it talks about indexing, and this year we need to do a lot of indexing and give people grace, because the person that we are this year in 2020 and the things that we do may not be typical or normal for us. But if we don't index someone and we use a static evaluation, then we limit our ability to interpret the other person as capable of change. And if we use loaded language and these extreme labels, then we will offend people. And when you look at totalizing, and we go back to chapter 2 and these labels that represent the whole person, even though people are individuals, and we need to be very careful when deciding these verbal symbols that we want to use in our communication, whether it's talking about someone or talking with someone. I hope you enjoyed chapter 5, and I hope this little mini lecture is helpful to get you ready to look at those key concepts. Don't forget to use those in as many ways as you can, including the case study video answers, but also in your writings. Thank you.